Finally, we have the man with the mouse in his hand, and he is always pressing the buttons there. Adam, my brother from another mother there. I cannot hear you. If I don't know what is happening, I cannot hear you. I think it's from you. Rafa, it's from us. Now I can hear you. I think that it was from us. Rafa
see? Don't be so quick to point the finger, Alex.
Okay. I sometimes I get lucky with pointing the finger on some other people and being very right about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are talking esports. We are talking Counter-Strike Go. We are talking Dreamhack Summer or Dreamhack Open. I think that is the same thing. If you ask me, I made the research. I'm telling you, I have some good news for you. And we have the Dreamhack Summer. I don't know. You tell me how important it is for the teams this tournament.
Yeah, so that's always a great place to start, actually. Dreamhack series of tournaments. Dreamhack is an organizer that hasn't had a major or they had the Dreamhack Masters tournament in Dallas a few weeks ago. That's sort of the largest tournament that they host now. They have a series called Dreamhack Summer, Dreamhack Winter. It's a much smaller tournament. It's 8 teams, almost always, I'm pretty sure. And it's always like 100,000 prize pool, 150. But the teams that usually attend the Dreamhack Summer and Winter are usually teams that don't get to see a lot of LAN. So to these teams, it is important. It's important for their confidence, especially leading into the major, which some of these teams will be at. It's important to build the team chemistry. It's important to get some wins. I mean, these are professional Counter-Strike players, and obviously with the teams here, they're all kind of that rank 10 to 30th in the world. They're sort of, they can sometimes get big upsets over top teams, but sometimes they get upset by even worse teams. But as far as the importance of the tournament, I would say coming into it, every team here would be focused on winning it. So in case our viewers don't know, this week there was a series of European qualifiers for the major, which is kicking off in August. And so we've got teams like Avangard, Crazy, Optic is playing right now for their spot, Ancient is playing tonight for their spot. A bunch of these teams are sort of in full focus mode for these matches today. And the tournament coming up this weekend is great practice opportunity, but I think they'll still take it very seriously.
Okay, you said 2 groups, Group A and Group B, each of 4 teams. And we have Group A with Avangard, Tricked, Aristocracy, and Winstrike, and Group B with Crazy, Optic, Chaos, and Team Ancient. Let's talk about some future bets here.
Sure.
I didn't found markets for the winner of this tournament, but I found some markets for the group winners. For example, in Group A, favorites Avangard at 2.3, Aristocracy at 3, Tricked at 4, and the Winstrike at 7.0. Is there any value on playing winner of this group, or I can imagine that 2 of them will qualify in the semifinals, the first 2 in the standings there, how it's in football, or how is the format here?
Yeah, exactly. Your research paid off. I could tell already. So the winner of each group goes straight to the semifinals, as you said. So there's incentive. It's not just round robin where it's for seeding. The top 2 teams move on with first semifinal, and the bottom 2 teams are knocked out. We'll start with Group A. Avangard is the heavier favorite there. Now, I'm just going to preface this whole discussion by saying there's only two teams attending that I've written off entirely here. Winstrike and Chaos. Winstrike Group A, Chaos in Group B. I don't think those teams have shown, well, with Winstrike's case, they've had some unfortunate roster changes recently, and it's caused them to not even qualify for the major when they were significant, I guess, favorites to get through the CIS Russian group. So Winstrike, I don't think they're prepared. I think they're in sort of a downward spiral at the moment. They're playing Avangard in the opener. In the past, Winstrike has played Avangard very closely. But I don't think this is even those are a couple of the same players, and it's like a CIS derby in a way. I don't think Winstrike will hold a what's the expression? Hold a flame to them, hold a candle, something like that. There's an expression. Yeah. So I'm not looking for anything with Winstrike. With Chaos, they sort of have a reputation for being onliners. They have some veterans of the scene, but again, they've sort of just been underwhelming for years now, and they never really get to land. So again, until I see them doing anything impressive or that they've put in work, I'm not going to put any money on them. So those are the two teams out right away. Group A winner, I would say you either want to, I haven't placed anything yet on the tournament. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. But you either want to go with Avangard for Group A, or you want to go with Tricked. So Avangard, I think, is going to easily beat Winstrike. Aristocracy's playing Tricked. Tricked recently knocked Aristocracy out of the major. Then Aristocracy beat them in a best of one. But I don't get why Tricked is such a big underdog here. I think I saw them. They were at Bet365. They're 2.5 against Aristocracy. So I'm going to probably wait for the map on that one.
I will tell you exactly. I have also the odds for the matchups. So Aristocracy against Tricked. Tricked at 2.24, Aristocracy at 1.55.
Okay, and I've got Bet365 here open with Tricked at 2.5 right now. So even better. I would say 2.25, 2.1 even is probably more accurate. But even if I had seen Tricked at like a 1.9, 1.8, like pick-em odds, I would say that's fair. I don't know what the deal is. Aristocracy won the Polish championship last week. I posted that play on Sunday as a dog against Virtus Pro. But Tricked is better than Virtus Pro, and they've shown that, and they've beat Aristocracy in a best of three. And I looked over the stats; they were very even. The gun rounds, they were outplayed. So I like Aristocracy. I think there's potential for them to go to the semifinals or finals here, but I don't think the price here is justified at all. So I'm going to be looking for Tricked in that opening match. So going back to the Group A winner, you either go with Avangard here to win their two best of ones, or you go with Tricked, because Tricked has considerable more value than Aristocracy. I have Pinnacle. What's your best price for Tricked to win Group A? I have them 5.1 at Pinnacle. I think that was the best one I've seen.
4.0 I have right now in front of me. But yeah, 5.1.
I still like the 4.0. But for Group A, you either play Avangard or Tricked here. So I think I'm doing an article for that tomorrow. So I'll definitely post if I'm on anything. And then Group B.
So also before that, also Avangard are playing Winstrike in their first match, but they are priced at just at 1.25 to win the match. I couldn't find any markets for 2-0, for example, straight win there. Do you think that it should be around 1.7 there?
For them to win the group, Avangard?
No, for them to win 2-0 against the Winstrike. It's 2.
Oh, it's just a best of one.
2 from 3 maps.
No, just one map.
Just one map. Oh,
yeah.
This is why.
So typically in best of ones, there's more. Yeah, there's more value with the underdog. Winstrike again, they probably put a bit of work into a few maps. They could but I mean, we saw them today or yesterday lose a best of 5 to Fours, who Avangard has beaten multiple times. Fours beat them 16-0. I think it was it Overpass? Looking it up here right now. It was terrible result for Winstrike. I mean, they just look awful. Yeah, they lost 3-0, 16-0 on Nuke, and 16-6 on Mirage. They were kind of close to Undust too, but Winstrike, I just don't have. I don't think there's value even on them as a big dog here, even in a best of one. So if you want to play, if you don't like the spread number on Avangard, we're still waiting for some books to open lines. Bet365 has it at 5.5 rounds. But I think if you're going with Avangard to dominate Winstrike, you might as well just take Avangard to win the group, or take a team like Tricked, who is at 4 to 5 everywhere to win the group, because they should be probably closer to a 3.
Yeah, the value is on the group winner and on the underdog there. Group B, Crazy 1.9, Optic 2.9, Team Ancient 6.5, Chaos at 9.0. You mentioned Optic. They are losing to Sprout GG right now.
1-1.
1-1, but map 3 it's 3-0 for Sprout GG.
That's just the pistol though. We don't pistol rounds are like it's like who gets the first basket in basketball.
I'm watching it live. Optic are priced right now live at 2.67. Sprout GG are priced at 1.45 to win that match. And I can tell you also how much money they have, but I have to look more deeper into it. So
CSGO Alex is a game of 2 halves, and I wrote about this in one of the articles. You just cannot. We see teams come back from 8-0 all the time, or 14-8 or whatever. And it's like with tennis, women's tennis, like I was talking to you the other day, 5-0 up in the first set. Barty loses 7-6 in the tiebreak, down 3-0 second set, wins 6-3 and that is Counter-Strike. It is very tilting because you see teams lose huge leads. It's fun to watch when you're on the right side, but it can be very annoying.
Yeah, it's 4-0 right now for Sprout GG. So
I
don't know what is happening with Optic.
You get the pistol, Alex. You get the pistol. Then you have the economy bonus. So you get to buy better weapons in the second round. The other team tries to beat you on the second round. They buy slightly worse weapons. If they lose that, then they have to eco. So they have to play with just pistols. So that's 3 rounds right there, just because you won the first round. Then the 4th round comes in. You have better guns again because you had the better economy. So until the economies aren't even until the 5th round, really. So it's very hard for a team to. They have to manage their economy. Sometimes they have to play more conservatively and give rounds away in order to come back later in the match. Because if you buy every round, you'll not have the economy later in the game to win rounds. So anyways, Group B. Go ahead.
Sprout is at 25,000 and Optic was around 7,000 in terms of money.
That's what I'm saying. So exactly. That's the value of their weaponry. So, but honestly, Dust 2 is very even as long as Optic gets 6-7 rounds here on their CT side. I think they'll have a good chance to win. So. But going back to their Optics playing this weekend, like you said. Look, now it's going to be 4-1, just like that. Should we do some live betting?
Let's do a special show with live betting then. So going back to DreamHack Summer, winner of Group B, Crazy, Optic, Chaos, Team Ancient.
Yeah. So same thing here. I think Optic is overvalued. I already mentioned forget about Chaos. There's nothing until we see them play well. Just forget about him. So I'm either going to be playing Crazy to win Group B, sorry, or Ancient to win Group B. Ancient, until this week, until I saw them at the major qualifiers, I was thinking they were a team like Chaos. Swedish as well, but full of potential talent, but they just didn't have the right leadership. They didn't put in the time to run the strategies correctly. They were constantly a team that would get players, so not Ancient, but some of these players on Ancient have been with teams that had potential in the past, and then their players would get picked up by the Ninjas in Pajamas or Fnatic or other quality organizations that can pay more money. So just like you see in football. So with Ancient,
what I wanted to ask you that don't pass on that subject yet. Yes, I heard you before that transfers are happening between teams. How are these transfers happening? A team is paying another team to buy a player from them?
So there are buyouts. Like I think 2 years ago there was Nico, who was with Mouse Sports. The rumor was that his contract was bought out for, I think it was 500,000 or 200. I don't know. I forget the number what it was, but it was the biggest one at the time for esports. But typically what happens is players will be on 3 or 6 month contracts, or they will just be on a trial, and then they'll either get dropped or benched, and then the team will release them to go to sort of free agency so another team can pick them up. Trades don't really happen that often. I mean, one happened last week with Winstrike and Nadas Vincier, where Edward, who is one of the oldest veterans on the team, was sort of traded to a shitty team right before, they entered their major qualifiers, and that team got knocked out within 1 week of the major qualifiers. So he was on a top 5 team in the world, thinking he's going to probably play in the major in August with them, gets traded, and a week later now it's not that he's out of work, but it's sort of like this is the way older players end up sort of retiring because the newer, younger, talented players are coming into their teams.
Okay, I totally understand. So going back to Dreamhack Summer Group B there, so do you think that the best value bet there is to take Team Ancient at 6.5 to win the group?
Ancient, because they're playing tonight, but Ancient looked very good against North yesterday, against Wendigo the day before, and like if you just go through their past matches, they have just been winning recently. They are a bit focused right now, and this is when we want to catch teams as they're rising. And to be honest, the talent disparity. So they're playing crazy in the opening match. The disparity between these two teams is not that great. I think the power of Crazy. Crazy is such a stupid name. They were previously called Valiants. Last week, the owner of Valiants, I think, wanted to change their name because it didn't really reflect his, his personality or the players' vision. I don't know. He changed it to Crazy, and everybody's been mocking them. Anyway, but the roster of Crazy has been together for much longer, and so they're justifiably the favorite. But it's too heavy here. If Ancient, remember this is a Swedish tournament, if Ancient comes in prepared, taking it seriously, then the value is completely on them. So I saw them at 6 at Pinnacle. I don't know if you found a better price than that to win Group B.
6.5. 6.5.
See, I really like that.
6.5, and they have the head-to-head. They have the head-to-head with Crazy, and they're priced at 3.1 to win that match against Crazy.
Against Crazy, what I'll do is I'll probably take a +4.5 there on round differential. I think the 3.0, 3.2, 3.5, I think those are all, I mean, I haven't looked at any of the numbers yet, but I think a ballpark figure between 3.0 and 3.5 is fair. If I see a 4, I will jump on that money line because that would be ludicrous. But then they will play the winners of Optic Chaos should be Optic, but Chaos could beat them in a best of one, certainly. So if Ancient goes through against Optic or Chaos, we'll have a hedge opportunity if needed. With 6, that should be around a 4, in my opinion, with what we've seen from Ancient this week.
Okay, that's absolutely brilliant. Going with the underdogs, going with the value. Adam will write an article about this tournament tomorrow. So check oddsmarket.com for more information, more insights, because he is going to make some great research as usual for everything that he is writing. So stay with us. We will be back next week with plenty of football, tennis, and other sports, esports, golf, I don't know, snooker, you name it, UFC, we have it. We had cricket, we have everything. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Adam, for being with us today, and see you next week. Best of luck with your bets.